Hello everyone and welcome back to the Smile Code. I'm your host Dr. Isikwedu. This week we're slowing things down to discover wisdom in the most unexpected place. And that is a humble garden slug. Yes, you heard me right. A tiny silent creature that carries no shell, moves at its own pace, and yet leaves behind a luminous trail. In today's episode, we'll explore what this little messenger can teach us about patience, about presence, about surrender, and the courage to let go of what no longer serves us. Because sometimes the universe doesn't send butterflies or birds. Sometimes it sends slugs. And if we pay attention, even they carry secrets for living a more radiant, authentic life. So settle in, take a deep breath, and let's journey together into the wisdom of the slow, the soft, and the luminous. This morning, as I strolled casual into my backyard to check on my flowering petunias, I was startled to see something unusual. There was, on the side wall of my garden bed, a large object about 6 or 7 inches long. Now, mind you, I didn't have on my glasses, so at first I thought it was just bark from a tree or maybe a big leaf stuck between the wooden panels. But as I stepped closer, I realized it was something entirely different. It was a slug, a lone slug. Motionless at first, and then slowly, gracefully, it began gliding across the woods as though it were moving on purpose, almost deliberately, as if it wanted to be noticed. The morning was bright and sunny, the air crisp and dry, and yet here was this creature that usually hides in shadows or comes out at night. I felt like it was making an appearance just for me. So I did what any curious person would do. I snapped a picture, then went inside and Googled it. Based on its reddish-brown color, its size and the ridges on its body, it seemed to be a red slug, Arion rufus, a type of shell-less land mollusk related to snails. Now here's what I learned. Slugs move using one big muscular foot, which secretes mucus. That's what helps them glide and also keeps them from drying out. The silvery slime trail they leave behind isn't just residue. It's their way of surviving, of navigating the world. They have 2 long tentacles on their heads, and at the very tips of those stalks, their eyes. The shorter tentacles below are for tasting and smelling. And while they're mostly active at night or after rain, this one appeared on a dry, sunny morning. The more I read, the more fascinated I became. Something that many of us would see as nothing but a slimy garden pest was actually a marvel of design. And in that moment, science and wonder met. Because when you pause to observe even the humblest of creatures, you realize they too carry wisdom. So I thought to myself, why a slug? Why not a butterfly, or a bee, or a bird? Why this slow, silent, unarmored being? And then I remembered Many traditions teach that animals, insects, and even the smallest of creatures can be messengers, and the slug, though often overlooked, is full of spiritual symbolism. The first symbolism has to do with patience and slow progress. The slug, as you know, moves very slowly, and that reminds us that life is not a race. It teaches us to savor the journey, trust in the timing, and know the steady steps, however small, still carry us forward. I wonder how many times in our lives have we rushed through, missing the beauty along the way. The second symbolism has to do with sensitivity and intuition. Now, without a protective shell, the slug is vulnerable, exposed, yet it moves on. Spiritually, this mirrors our own capacity for sensitivity, for openness, for tuning into intuition. And here, vulnerability is not weakness, it is strength. The third symbolism has to do with simplicity and detachment. Unlike its cousin, the snail, the slug doesn't carry a heavy shell. This can symbolize freedom from baggage, the emotional, spiritual, or material weight we often carry unnecessarily. The slug says, travel lightly, release what no longer serves you. The fourth symbolism has to do with renewal and regeneration. Now, slugs, as you know, thrive in damp, fertile places, often appearing after rain. They remind us of rebirth, of the cycles of renewal that come after storms in life. Just as gardens flourish after rain, so too can we flourish after struggle. The fifth symbolism has to do with shadow work. Now, slugs often live in hidden places, under leaves, in dark corners. They remind us that growth isn't only in the light. Sometimes it happens when we embrace the hidden, shadowy parts of ourselves. And the last but not least has to do with persistence and survival. Despite appearing fragile, slugs are indeed quite resilient. They adapt, they endure, and spiritually they invite us to do the same, to remember that quiet strength is still strength. So I decided to give my little visitor a name. I called it Luma because of the luminous silver trail it left behind, which is a glowing path like a quiet signature of its presence. And Luma whispered to me, not in words, but in symbols. Luma said, progress, no matter how slow, is still progress. Luma reminded me, you don't need to carry the heavy shells of expectation or fear. Sometimes the most powerful way to live is vulnerably, without armor, simply and authentically. And isn't that what life calls us to do? To shed what no longer serves us? To move gently? To remember that even the smallest, humblest of creatures can carry profound wisdom. So I want to invite you, wherever you are right now, to take a moment with me. If you're driving, just listen. And if you're at home, maybe close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in and out. Again, in and out. One more time, in Feel your whole body relax. Now imagine yourself moving at the pace of a slug. Slow, deliberate, unhurried. Feel the tension ease as you let go of the need to rush. Now imagine your burdens, the shells you've been carrying, expectations, worries, old identities. See yourself gently setting them down. You don't need them. You are free. And now imagine gliding forward, leaving behind not stress, but a luminous trail, your own unique mark on the world. Quiet, gentle, yet unmistakably yours. So, my friends, here's the invitation this week. Where in your life can you slow down? What shells can you release? And how can you honor the quiet resilience within you, the part that doesn't need to hurry, yet always finds its way forward? Sometimes the universe sends us butterflies. Sometimes it sends us bees or spiders. But sometimes, like today, it sends us slugs. And if we're open enough to notice, even the slug can be our teacher. So until next time, keep smiling, keep shining, and watch out for the quiet messengers the universe places along your path. Because sometimes wisdom doesn't roar. Sometimes it glides, and sometimes it glistens. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. Who would have thought that a simple garden slug could carry such deep wisdom? Yet, as we've seen, life often speaks through the quiet, the humble, and the overlooked. As you move into the rest of your week, I invite you to slow down, release what no longer serves you, and trust that your steady, luminous steps are enough. Remember, sometimes the greatest teachers arrive without wings or song, but with silence, softness, and a shimmering trail of presence. Until next time, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep listening for the gentle messengers the universe places along your path. See you soon.